"Who let you in here?" one of the cadets sneered, his voice sharp enough to cut through the humid air of the training yard. The new girl stood frozen, her olive-green navy t-shirt clinging to her back with sweat, her chest rising and falling. She just finished the morning drills, but instead of respect, 3 towering cadets surrounded her, their eyes full of mockery. "Look at this," another cadet barked, yanking her sleeve. "Thought this was boot camp, not dishwashing duty." His buddies burst into laughter, circling her like wolves around prey. The third cadet leaned close, his breath hot and ugly. "We don't need another weak link slowing us down. Why don't you pack your stuff and go home?" The girl's lips parted, but no words came out. She looked down, jaw tight, hands trembling ever so slightly. To the onlookers, new recruits hanging at the edge of the yard, it looked like fear. The cadets smirked, mistaking her silence for surrender. What they didn't know, what nobody knew, was that behind her quiet eyes lived a storm. Just 6 months earlier, she wasn't standing in a training yard. She was standing knee-deep in ocean surf, her body battered, her muscles screaming, her mind hardened by the crucible of Bud S., the infamous Navy SEAL training course. Where men twice her size had rung the bell and quit, she had endured. Where others had collapsed, she had risen again, carrying logs, boats, and brothers on her back. But here, on this base, she had chosen to stay silent. She wanted to earn respect without titles, without glory, just by showing she could stand shoulder to shoulder with anyone. That silence, however, was now being misjudged as weakness. "Hey, dishwasher," one cadet shouted, shoving her shoulder hard enough to make her stumble. The crowd laughed nervously. Even among the recruits, some whispered, "This isn't right." But nobody stepped forward. The girl caught herself, her eyes narrowing. She straightened, slow and deliberate, then finally raised her head to meet their gaze. Her voice was quiet but sharp. "You're done." The cadets burst into laughter. "Done? You haven't even started," one howled, clutching his stomach. Another jabbed a finger at her chest. "What are you going to do, cry to command? You think your little navy patch makes you tough?" The girl tilted her head, her calmness unnerving. Then, like lightning, she moved. Her hand snapped up, catching the finger that had jabbed her chest, twisting it backward just enough to drop the cadet to one knee with a cry. Before the others could react, she pivoted, her boot sweeping the legs of the second cadet clean out from under him. He hit the dirt hard, choking on dust. The yard went dead silent. Even the laughter of the third cadet caught in his throat as his eyes widened. The girl released her grip, letting the first cadet scramble backward in shock, clutching his hand. Then she stepped forward, her voice low and even. "You don't get it," she said, her eyes burning now. "You think strength is about size, about who can shout the loudest. You have no idea what strength costs." The cadets stared, pale-faced, breathing hard. Around them, the crowd of recruits leaned in, caught between awe and disbelief. The girl pulled in a slow breath, her gaze locking on each of them in turn. "I've carried men bigger than you on my shoulders while bullets cracked overhead. I've been dragged under the ocean until my lungs screamed for air, and I still fought my way back. I didn't come here to take your respect. I came here to show you what real respect looks like." One of the fallen cadets croaked, Who are you?" She hesitated for just a moment. Then, with quiet finality, she answered, "SEAL Team Veteran, combat deployed, twice." The words detonated through the yard like thunder, gasps erupted. Someone in the back whispered, "She's a SEAL." Another muttered, "No way, a combat vet." The 3 cadets scrambled back to their feet, shame painting their faces red. Their cocky grins had vanished, replaced with the stark realization of what they'd just done. They hadn't mocked a dishwasher. They'd mocked someone who had bled, fought, and endured more than they could imagine. Slowly, the girl stepped closer. The cadets instinctively flinched, but she didn't raise her hand. Instead, she simply said, "The next time you see someone walk in wearing this uniform, remember, you don't know their story. You don't know what they've carried to stand here." Silence hung heavy, and then, like a wave, the recruits surrounding them began to clap. Not slow, mocking claps, but firm, rising applause. One by one, they stood straighter, eyes filled with something deeper than surprise. Respect. The three cadets looked down, their bravado shattered. Without a word, they backed away, swallowed by the crowd. The girl didn't smile, didn't gloat. She only turned her gaze back to the training yard, her eyes steady. Because for her, this wasn't about winning a fight. It was about teaching a truth. Respect is not demanded, it is earned. And in that moment, every soul who watched understood the lesson. Before we end this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comment.